It's a little sequence that I was working with, and it's moving the pelvis and moving the connection of the pelvic girdle in correlation to the leg bones and rotation, and a subtle practice, just exploring the movements without necessarily the feet being on the ground. So it's kind of like in space, and it requires you to activate to hold the legs off the ground and then moving. And I don't know, it feels pretty good so far. Let's go ahead and try it out. We'll lie on our back.
Now begin breathing. Inhale into your navel center, and exhale, let it all out. Bring your heels out wide and your toes towards each other in constructive rest pose. And with every breath, allow yourself to sink a little deeper, letting the hips settle, psoas muscles relax. Just let it release. And no rush to go anywhere. Let the shoulders soften. Any grip that you're hanging on to, just allow it to relax. Now you can slowly begin moving the legs to your right. Bring the knees, roll into the knife edge of the right foot, and then move over to the left hand side to where the inseam of the right foot moves and follows. Give yourself a little space between the knees. Like, don't have them so tight together. Let them open, let the other kind of follow. Right leg opens up over to the right hand side, the left one tags along. Open up to your left again. Nice and gentle, subtle. Open up to your right. Bring yourself back to center. Bring your hands onto the edges of your knees and also maybe connected to the shins. And as you hug the knees in a little bit, kind of resist down with the sacrum, right? Let the hip bones hug down as well. So it's a little bind. And if you want to draw the knees in a little bit more, you're counteracting, resisting as you let the sacrum hug back down. Really feeling the lower back flatten down. Bring the feet to knee height and begin creating little circles in opposite directions. The knees going out wide and back, and you're hugging them back in towards the chest. Creating circles with the hands, and very gentle and subtle. And then let's reverse the directions. So it's all organic and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's whatever is feeling good. Let it circle, feeling the femur bone kind of create this space in the hips. Draw the feet up to the sky. Let gravity weight it down. Start to kind of wiggle the legs, maybe less from the feet, but more from the thighs. Going into Charlie Chaplin feet with the heels coming together, then the toes come together. Do that a few times. Yeah. And it might not be extravagant. It might not be to your full range of motion. Just kind of exploring what that range of motion is with the rotations of the thighs. For you today, right? One leg might move more than the other. It's okay. There's nothing wrong. But just notice and discover your time in this movement. Bring the legs back to center. Heels to knee height. Good. Fan the toes out a little bit. Now extend the right leg forward. Let it hover as the thigh kind of presses down. And then extend the left leg forward as the right knee draws in. So all of this is done from the strength of the legs and the core. Bring the right heel into the inner right thigh or near the groin area. And then bend the left heel inward like you're making almost lotus legs. Straighten it back out. Bring it back in. Almost like they could wrap. Then slowly rotate the left thigh down to the ground. back to center, and kind of leave the heel straight as you internally rotate that left thigh. You're going to go back over to your left, and you internally rotate the thigh, the heel coming into the right knee. So I'm going to do this a couple of times. Draw the hips back to center. Internally rotate that left leg as the right thigh touches the ground or comes near it. And then back to center. Straighten the left leg forward. Bring the right thigh to neutral. And then let's switch sides. Right thigh goes forward. Left knee comes in. Let it hover. Bring the left heel onto the thigh. Good. Create a bind. And then draw that right knee inward. Bring the heel to touch the shin or to the sits bones. And let's extend it right back out. Good. So you have this kind of bind and extension. Bring the right heel in. Maybe it touches the thigh. And then we're going to roll the right thigh onto the ground. Good. Bring it back to center. And then from here, internally rotate that right thigh when you subtly move back towards the left. Good. Externally rotate the right thigh as you move the hips over to the right. And then internally rotate the thigh. It's almost like that right foot is staying in the same place and the body's twisting right to left. You know, just maybe it's in space and in imagination, right? Going back and forth. Just continue that thigh rotation. Good, one more time. And it may be difficult to get that internal rotation with the heel out. Now go ahead and straighten the right leg. Good. And then bring the left back to neutral. Bring both knees squared off, feet next to each other. And then we can kind of wiggle. Bring the soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Good. Now, draw it down a little bit, and then we're going to internally rotate the thighs and bring the feet out wide. So it's almost like a seam with the legs here. Soles of your feet come back together. Maybe one knee is different than the other. One hip is hiked up. It's okay. Draw the knees, the thighs, inner thighs together. Heels out wide. Soles of your feet back together. Good. Internally rotate the thighs. Bring the heels and the feet out wide. Bring the soles back together. Supta Baddha Konasana legs. Good. Still everything's off the ground. Now you're bringing the thighs back together one more time, and now the whole shins come together. Good. Now bring the legs up to the sky. Create circles with the legs, right? We're going to go wide, real big circles, draw them back in together. Going wide. So you're looking at the sky or the ceiling if you're in your home. Maybe you tighten up the circles now. Yeah, get it a little tighter. And then reverse directions. Start maybe small, like a spiraling out. Maybe they become bigger circles. Good. Coming in together, going wide, coming around. One more revolution. Maybe two. Good. And then bring it into eagle legs. Right legs in front of the left. And switch sides. You bring the left leg. So you're creating these circles to intertwine the legs into Gomukhasana legs, right? So unravel, bring it around. Left leg in front. Good. Now hold. And let's uncross. Let's do it again. Right leg comes around. Bind. Bring the arms out wide. And rotate the legs over to your left. So the shins are connected together. Maybe they go to the ground, maybe they don't. Come back to center, unravel, switch sides. The left leg, thigh comes on top, Create the bind. Maybe there's a double wrap. And then rotate over to the right hand side. Good. Gaze can go over to the left. Bring the shins back to center. Unravel the legs. Bring them back up to the sky. And let's go wide with the legs. Good. So as you hugging the leg bones inward, the heels are going out wide. I'm going to play with the rotation of the legs here. So I'm going to bring the toes towards the ground. And let's do some internal rotation, external rotation, going super wide. Bring the heels forward. Internally rotate. Bring them back up to the sky. So it's kind of going exhale, external rotation as you go wide. Make the loop around and then they come back together. Lift them back up to the sky. Go out wide with the legs. Feel the legs externally rotate and internally rotate as they come back around. And then lift the right leg up. Left leg is long. And the right leg comes up and over to your left. Back to center and then open it up to the right. Now, sink down that bottom thigh of the left leg. So it's still active. The heel's still floating. Good. Switch sides. Left leg up. Right heel active. Sink the thigh down. Cross the left leg over. Yeah. Bring it back to center and then open up the gate with the left leg out wide. See if you can hike down that right leg to hover. Bring the left leg back up. Legs meet. Let them touch. And slowly give yourself a little informational feedback here. Lower the soles of your feet back down to the ground. Give yourself some time and some space to digest the movements, all the different rotations of the thighs and the movements in this little sequence. And slowly rise back up, cross your legs.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed exploring some supported pelvis leg movements with keeping active the feet and everything be working out for you. See you around. Namaste.